on the walks with it. So the more he has it on, the more comfortable he's going to get with it. Okay.
Can you look at it and make sure it fits? Because I feel like it's a little tight, but
Yeah.
anything bigger is too big.
Yeah, no, that looks good.
Okay.
I mean, it's awkward, but yeah. What you can do is for the dogs that we have to line up with, for dogs that wear the muzzle more frequently, we line the inside with felt.
Okay.
Or some people will even do athletic tape, and they'll wrap it,
Okay.
and it'll help just any rubbing.
Okay.
Otherwise, like that's the correct size.
Okay.
Because you're right, like the size bigger is just going to be
huge.
Yeah, it's a
I
big
bought
difference.
It. I tried. Yeah. It's
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll start off first with just a review of how the walk is going,
Okay.
and then from there we'll add on the second half of heel.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have been walking with his leash, how you saw before on his nose. So this is different, but I think it'll be fine.
Okay. Go ahead. Good. I'm going to take up a little bit of slack. Yeah, like that. Good. Hey, Corey. Corey, someone pooped in the pen. Tap, yeah, forward. Tap, forward, tap. Good. Good turn. Tap forward, tap. Good turn. Tap forward, tap, tap, good. Tap, 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 good. You're at 15?
Huh?
You're at 15?
I'm at 9.
Let's go to 12.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and do a turn. So when you take up your, so go ahead and, go ahead and bring him a little bit more forward.
What?
Go ahead and bring him a little more forward. There you go. And slow down to a stop there. Okay, good. So this looks pretty good. He was stalling because of the muzzle.
Huh?
He was stalling because of the muzzle.
Right, yeah.
So go ahead and stand right next to him like that, and go ahead and relax your arm. Okay. So you see that little loop there?
Yeah.
You see how it's just below his armpit?
Yes.
So take up a little bit of slack, like maybe 2 or 3 inches, right there. Then relax. Good. So that's more of the perfect length.
Okay.
Because when you first started, it was below the armpit, and that's why you kept stepping over it.
Yeah.
Okay. So having it by the armpit helps keep it out of his legs.
Yeah.
So then you're not constantly having to adjust it.
When it's on his face, it's shorter, so I'm used to holding just the end.
The end of it, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, this looked good, and so you start to see him stall a little bit.
Yeah.
That's because of the muzzle. So what you can do is when you walk him for more exposure, you just pop the muzzle on, walk him with it, and then when he tries to stall, you just tap, you keep forward. So dogs can only do one thing at a time. He's either going to fight the muzzle or he's going to walk. Okay. And of course, because we're bigger, we can overpower him. We can keep walking. So he's trying to fight the muzzle and walk, and that's very uncomfortable.
Sure.
So then as you're tapping as well, he's just like, okay, this isn't working. I'm gonna have to give up something. He's gonna give up the muzzle, okay? So then as you walk him every day, you'll just start to see you'll pop it on him, and he's not gonna care about it, okay? So all that looked good. Any questions about this?
No, I mean, when we walk for long enough, I think he forgets what we're doing, and then he starts to pull ahead a little bit if we've been walking straight for a long time. So I turn, but is there any way to like remind him when we're walking straight that like this is what we're doing?
Correct.
So he doesn't forget?
When he gets ahead of you, we've lost attention.
Yeah.
You turn, that's correct. Now, are you tapping when you turn?
Yeah.
Okay. And is this like kind of like a constant thing? Not like terrible, but you have to do it at least maybe once a walk or something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely once a walk, but it's usually when we've been going for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
The number.
Oh, okay.
It's just go up.
Okay.
So we went from 9 to 12. So like, let's say you're walking with them. What's the highest you've gone on the walk?
15.
15? Okay.
Yeah.
Once you hit 15, how is he usually?
Like a little more
Attentive?
Yeah.
Would you say you have to remote less, or do you feel like you still have to turn and tap once you hit 15?
I feel like it's about the same amount.
Of corrections?
But yeah, but he like listens to them more. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I can tell he feels it.
Okay. So then we're probably not high enough still.
Okay.
So I'd probably, 15 to 18 to 21. So once, let's say you hit 21, and you're like, man, I walked for 30 minutes, and he's do great.
Yeah.
He's right at my side. Then I should start to walk at 21, right? Because he will take 9 to 12 to 15 to 18 to do his own thing. And then once he hit 21, then he'll start being good, okay? So if I find the dog's working level is consistently like at 21 where he's the best, and you start off right at that 21, you're gonna do an entire walk without any turns. That's the goal. We shouldn't have to turn, okay? So if we're still struggling with that, it's almost always just a number.
Okay.
You will always have to turn to correct him, but the number of reminders will go down dramatically once you hit that right number, okay? So like, and nobody's perfect, he's gonna make mistakes, but if it's like once every few months, it's like you turn and tap, that's a really big gap, as opposed to like every walk there's at least one turn, okay? But otherwise, I can see that he's got the concept.
Yeah,
okay?
he's gotten a lot better.
So-
I have one more question. Sorry. When we're walking and I want to give him a very stiff thing, when I want him to start walking again, like doing this, do I tap first to let him know we're doing this again? Or do I just bring him to my side and he should know to start doing that?
So now we're gonna start using the word heel.
Okay.
Because that's what you were missing,
Yeah.
is you didn't have a formal on switch.
No.
Yes, so now we're gonna work on all that stuff today, okay? So technically, if you walk out with Duke from this point forward, he's off the clock until you say heel, okay? So you walk out, let's say you go in the hallway and stuff, you don't say anything, he can do all this stuff. You get outside, he's still pulling, and then you let him pee and poop, and then you go heel, and then it starts, okay? So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna add in that verbal cue. You're gonna say the word heel first, and then you're gonna move forward with your left leg first. Okay, so you're gonna say heel, and then left leg. So what I'll have you do is you're gonna cue the word, you're gonna start walking for a bit, you're gonna come to a stop, wait a moment, heel, walk a little bit, come to a stop, heel, walk a little bit, come to a stop, okay? Now, because he's a dachshund, I'm not gonna, so with the heel, the other thing that we do is automatic sits. With the reactivity stuff, you said he's had the issue in the hallways and everything.
Yeah.
Is it with dogs and passing as you're walking?
No, it's like with certain dogs. It's not with every dog either, but certain dogs. It's mostly in the elevator into the hallway, like when the dog's waiting in the hall and we're trying to get off the elevator or something like that. There was a pit down the hallway that he like that. Not great. That's my favorite dog.
So here,
But we haven't really had to walk past a dog in the hall. I think it would depend on the dog. I think some he would bark at.
okay, because the other thing is that number also helps with that.
Okay.
So like if you raise the urgency of what the heel command is, it should override everything else, okay, including his discomfort with dogs and passing or whatever, okay? So we're gonna start with that, and then we'll just build on it, and then I'll give you some stuff to work on so that you can start addressing the activity. Okay? So go ahead and cue the word heel, and then start walking.
Heel.
And slow turn. And come to a stop. Good. And then what do we want to do before we stop?
What?
What do we want to do before we stop?
Slow down.
Correct. So that was an abrupt stop. So if I say come to a stop, always assume if I say turn, or unless it's a correctional turn, slowing down to allow him time to stop with you. Okay? Heel.
Heel.
And get ready for a stop. Good. Yep. And then 3 more. Heel.
Heel.
Left leg.
All right.
Then get ready for a turn. Good turn. Come to a stop. Good. Heel.
Heel.
Slow to a stop. Good, now here, light pull forward, tap. There you came. Okay, one more.
Heel.
Good, and slow to a stop. There you go. Excellent. Okay, so that's the easy part. So now I'm going to show you the other turns, okay? Because you're not always going to be turning to the right. So we're going to start with the crossover turn.
Okay.
The crossover is when you're turning left. So you're going to be crossing over Duke, okay? When we make this turn, you're going to be leading it with your right leg, okay? So as you're walking forward, you would of course slow down. Give Duke the opportunity to slow with you. You're going to cross with your right leg, forward to left leg, and then cross with your right leg. Now we're going back this way. Okay?
Sorry.
So as we're walking slow, you're going to cross with your right, then your left, and then cross with your right to go the opposite way. Okay? The other turn that we have is the pivot turn, which is a turn that you're doing when he would pass you. So if Duke got ahead, you would simply do this and tap and go the opposite way. It's the same turn, except this one is when he's actively paying attention, okay? So you would slow down, and then left, right, left, and then back the opposite way, okay? Left, right, left, to go back this way. You might have to help him with the leash step work. So you're walking, left, right, left, okay? So there's two types of turns, the crossover and the pivot. The reason why for the crossover we lead with the right leg is because for Duke, if he's close to your left side, if you just turn in, you're going to kick him out the way. Or you're going to trip over him, okay? So by crossing with that right leg, it gives him enough time to see what you're doing, that he should naturally stop or pivot with you, and then turn with you, okay? Now some dogs will pivot with you, other dogs will stop and let you go around, and then they'll turn, or some dogs will even sit and wait for you to finish. All that stuff is fine, okay? As long as he ends the turn at your side, he's okay, okay? So we're gonna start with the crossovers first, and I'll coach you through it. And you're gonna be cueing the word heel, of course, each time. So go ahead and cue heel.
Heel.
Then slow, and get ready for that left turn with that right leg. Yep, as long as you need to. Yep, almost.
Can I go?
Yeah, whenever you're ready. Right, left, right. There you go, keep walking. Yep, good, we'll try that again. Yep, get ready for it. Right, left, right. Good, go ahead and pick up your pace, tap.
Huh?
Go ahead and speed up. You got it, good. Get ready for that turn. Yep. Perfect. A couple more.
I feel very not coordinated right now.
It's all right. It's not normal for us to have to think about our movements.
I've never thought about what foot I'm stepping on.
There you go. Good. Tap forward. Yep. You ready for that turn? Tap forward. There you go. Good. Right, left, right. Good. Go ahead and come to the middle of the floor and slow to a stop. Good. Right there. Now we're going to do the pivots. That's going to be the left, right, left, going to the immediate right. Okay, so forward, left, back on right. Like that. Yep,
Okay.
you got it.
Sorry, dude.
Good.
Okay. Heel.
Left, right, left. Perfect. Left, right, left. Good. Tap forward, good. Yep, left, right, left. Good. Couple more. Good. One more. Tap forward. Tap. Tap. Good. And slow to a stop. Good. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go between the left or the crossover and the pivot turns randomly. Okay? But you'll pick however you want to do it. As long as your body language is correct, Duke should be following right along, no problem. Okay?
Heel.
Pull to your left, tap, there you go, good. Good. Good turn. Good. All right, left, good. Good. Just a few more. Good. Good, couple more. Good. And slow to a stop. Good. So here, when you're walking with Duke now, you're going to be doing these movements when he's in heel. Okay, if he's not in a heel, if he's like on a loose walk, you know, doing his dog thing, whatever, these movements don't matter. It's only when he's been told to pay attention. If you're doing these turns and it feels awkward because of Duke, then we're probably doing something wrong.
It feels awkward because of me.
Yeah. So, like if he's getting ahead of you, it's because we're not keeping him in position. Okay. Because typically what people do is when the dog is coming up like this, is they'll just speed up or they'll pull the dog back and kind of overcompensate.
Yeah.
But when really we should be turning and correcting to bring him back to the side. Okay. So there should be no tension on the leash unless he's like completely off. Like if he goes to the right side, they'll come to the left or whatever. Always making sure to slow down before these turns, because if you're on an actual walk and he's doing well with walking with you for a bit, you just randomly turn left, he's not going to get it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I always tell people it's like driving. Before we stop, we always slow down. Before we turn, we slow down to let people around us know, hey, I'm doing something different.
Yeah.
And they're able to, how'd you say, we avoid a collision and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I slowing down enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now, are you a fast walker?
I'm like a medium walker.
Okay, fine. You're good. So,
I'm not a slow walker, but
because my really fast walkers, they walk so fast that when I tell them to slow down, they think they're slowing down, but they're not.
I like to switch it up with him to make sure he's paying attention.
Sure, and that's fine. As long as you don't do anything like stopping abruptly or turning abruptly, speeding up and slowing down are perfectly fine. He should match your speed with either one of those, okay?
Okay.
Now, if you speed up and he's lagging, and you tap and he catches up and he slows down again, you tap, he catches up and slows down again, it's because he can't keep up.
Okay.
But if you slow down, he should, if he's paying attention, should absolutely be able to slow down with you, okay? Questions about that?
No.
When you walk with him, do you keep the remote in your hand or on your chest?
On my chest.
Okay.
Because I don't need it so much.
Okay. When you come into a situation like the elevator and stuff, do you keep your hand on it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I choke up.
You choke up a little bit? Yeah. Because you want to make sure that you're immediately there for reactivity. Whenever you're expecting it to happen, just always be ready.
Whenever we get to the park and there's dogs, I have it. When we're in the hallway in the building, I have it.
Uh-huh.
But when we're just walking, because I can kind of see what's going to happen.
Sure.
But he is, I mean, he is still reactive a little bit, but he has gotten a lot better. He's ridden in the elevator with other dogs and been okay. So, it's a big improvement.
Right. So that last, like if you give it a percentage, like 60%, 80% or whatever, where would you put it at?
I would say he's 60% fine in the building.
Okay.
And like 85% fine outside.
Okay.
Maybe 90%.
Okay.
At a distance.
And that's at 15, correct? Yeah. So what I would do is, starting today, as soon as you go home, back in the building, I'd be at 18.
Okay.
Okay? And then take any opportunity, because he has to feel 18 to know 18 is like a thing, right?
Yeah.
Is once you start using the higher number, now you want to see what's your percentage. So then you might go, oh, outside is 100, and then inside I still need more because she's still being a little reactive, but it's better. Like it's 80% now. Okay.
Yeah.
Then if it's 80% on 18, then I go to 21. Okay. So I get to as close to 100 as I can. The hardest moments you're going to come across are the elevator because it's so sudden, or if you turn a corner, or like the narrow hallways.
Yeah.
So when you come across, if you're coming across a dog in the hallway, do you try to keep moving, or what's your?
I try to, if there's room. So I haven't run into a dog in the hallway of like where my apartment is, but in the like common areas, we will often cross with the dog, and I'll try to step aside and have him sit, and we'll wait for the dog to pass, and then we'll go, because it's just easier for me to keep walking.
Yes.
If we have enough distance and I'm in between him and the dog, we'll keep walking.
Okay.
Also, I kind of know which dogs he's like
Reactive
more
to.
likely to react to. Yeah.
Sure. When
so
you make him sit, is that verbally?
I mean, I tug a little bit.
Okay. Do you tug with the tap, or is it just a tug?
Just the tug.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do that too. So we're going to pair so you're not wrong to do that, but now we're just going to put power behind it so that he's like, oh, okay, like this is a sit.
Yeah.
You know, not like an optional please behave yourself type of sit. Okay. So what we're going to do is go ahead and show me with just your leash how you would make him sit.
Sit.
Gotcha. Okay. We're at 12? Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to add in, so technically with the heel, he's supposed to automatically sit. Now when it's outside and it's cold and it's snowy and it's rainy, it's uncomfortable for dogs to put themselves in a sitting position. I get that. So I don't worry about reinforcing it then. As long as he's stopped right next to you like he was here, I'm perfectly fine with that. The exception being if there's a dog coming and he's more reactive when he's standing than when he's sitting, then I'm like, well, if you weren't reactive, then I wouldn't have to force you to sit, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to the heel. You're gonna say heel first, you're gonna walk a few steps, you're gonna come to a stop. And now when you come to a stop, when you pull up, you're gonna just put enough tension that you can feel it on him, on his throat, on his neck, and then you're gonna start tapping, okay? So what you don't wanna do is bob it.
Sure.
Don't go up and down, you're gonna go up, make contact, keep it up, and start tapping, and we're gonna see if he'll naturally go into that sitting position.
I'm not saying sit.
Correct. Okay? Because heel means walk with me, stay with me, sit when I stop. So it's meant to be a part of the command.
Okay.
Okay? Go ahead.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry.
Heel. Yeah, heel.
Heel.
Good. Tap. 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 15. Tap. Tap. Wait a moment. No, okay, that's fine. Go ahead and turn so you're beside him and give him a little bit of praise. Good. And we're gonna repeat that a few times. I'm not gonna care that he moves, okay?
Okay, so if he sits anywhere, it's fine.
Yes, because eventually it's gonna get easier and he's gonna just sit at your side. But in the beginning, because he doesn't know
He
exactly what
doesn't
to do.
get it
Yeah, okay?
Okay.
Heel.
Heel. He does the most inopportune moments.
Good. Tap. Tap. Good, and praise. Good.
Heel.
Good. Tap. 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 Let's go to, we're at 18 there?
15.
15, let's go to 18. Tap. Tap. Actually, I think, is he on regular probes or the adapter? I can't remember.
Regular.
Okay, let's move his blue collar above the E-collar, because what's happening is it's when you pull up, it's moving the E-collar up and it's affecting the contact. So we're going to reverse the positioning there.
Let me just tighten it a little bit. Should I go down now?
Good. So try that again. Let's go down
Should I
to
turn
12.
it down?
Yeah, we'll go down to 12. Good. Heel.
Heel.
Right. Good. Come to a stop. Tap. There you go. Relax. Praise. Good boy. Good. Heel.
Heel. How do I just do?
Yeah. Tap. Good. Praise.
Quiet.
Good. We're gonna do that a few more times.
Heel.
Tap forward. Yep. Good. Tap. Good.
Good boy.
Much better that time.
Heel.
Yep. Tap. 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 Go ahead and bump it. Tap. Good. Praise.
Good boy.
Good. Just 3 more.
Heel.
Good. Tap. Good. Praise. Attaboy. 2 more.
Quickly go sideways. Heel.
Tap forward. Good. Good pivot. You got it. Good.
I had to think about the feet there.
Good. And 1 more.
Heel.
Tap forward. Good. Good. So now what we're going to do is same process, except when you come to a stop, you're going to start tapping first.
Okay.
And if he doesn't respond within 2 to 3 taps, you'll keep tapping and then pull up.
Okay. Heel. Okay, so I'm tapping now.
So come to a stop. Tap. 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 Now tap and pull up. Good. And then praise.
Good boy.
And we'll repeat that a few more times.
Heel.
Tap. Tap. Let's try, we're at what number now?
15.
Let's go to 100.
100.
Let's go to 18. His face.
I think if I put it on 100, he will flee the building.
He might live longer too. Okay, heel.
Heel.
Good. Tap. 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 There we go. Good. Let's try 21. Okay. Heel.
Heel.
Oh, good. Praise. Attaboy. So if he does it by himself, we don't do anything.
Okay. I
Good.
had already tapped.
What's up?
I had already tapped.
Oh. Go ahead. Heel.
Heel.
Tap. There you go. Good. Attaboy. Let's see if we can get 4 more like that one.
Can I run straight from here?
Yeah. That's okay. Praise. That's fine. Good. And then here, like if he gets in front of you like that, what you can do, this is the exception to the left leg rule, is you would say heel, but move forward with your right leg and it'd push him off to your left. Yeah.
Okay. Heel. Sorry. Should I hit him a little bit?
Good. Almost.
Good boy.
Good. Now let's go down to, we're at 21, correct?
Yeah.
Let's go to 15. And you can just turn to the, he's at your left side again. Yeah, it's fine, like that.
Heel.
It's okay, praise. You tap there, right?
Yeah.
Let's go to 9. And you can pivot again to be on this side. There you go.
Heel. This might be a contact problem.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you about that afterwards. Tip. Much better. Yeah, praise. Good. We'll try 2 more.
Heel.
Good.
Good boy.
1 more.
Heel.
Right. Very good. So go ahead and turn and bring them back here. Good. Perfect. Very good. So you can tell here. So with stationary stuff, more power makes dogs tend to overcompensate. So that's why he kept cutting around in front of you. So we went 21, 15 down to 9, and 9's at least right for what's going on right now. Perfect.
Okay.
Now when you're walking with him, more power makes him move quicker and makes him want to sync up with you more. Okay, so whenever we do stationary stuff, it's usually lower, like the sit and the down. Place is different because you're sending him to something. Okay, so I don't mind the speed, but when it comes to stuff like this, we don't want him overcompensating. So in case you're wondering of the difference, like when you're actually working with him in the hallway and stuff, I'm more concerned with the behavior than the obedience. So if you tap him at 21 and he overcompensates and positions wrong, I don't care, as long as he doesn't become reactive. Okay, so behavior always supersedes obedience. So if he does something in response to the correction and he gets out of line or something, but we see no reactivity, that's good. Eventually, because the corrections will become less, he'll be able to just like automatically sit and then not be reactive, so then we don't have to worry about that as being a problem anymore. Okay? Questions about this so far? So what we've done is we've conditioned him that whenever you come to a stop, he should technically automatically sit. Okay? So first we used what you had already taught him with the tugs. He had a concept of when I feel pressure, put my butt down. We layered the remote over that, and then we remove the pulling and go straight to the remote. If he doesn't respond to the remote, then we pull. And then now at the end, you just tap and he just sits, okay? So if you walk with him and you come to a stop, and as long as you know he's capable of sitting and he forgets to, you would tap, we wouldn't say sit, okay? If you say sit, he's no longer in heel.
Okay.
He's now in a sit, okay? So your new command overrides your old command.
Okay.
So if you're in a heel and you slow down and you come to a stop and you tap him or if you say sit, technically he shouldn't move until you release him or you were to say heel again, okay? At this stage, what I always suggest is that you say heel each time you move from stationary to walking,
Okay.
to get it in his head what heel means, okay? So we only say heel when we go from stationary to motion. If we're in heel and he gets away ahead of you, you would turn and tap, you would not say heel. Okay, you just correct them and turn.
And then I say break every time we're stopping the heel and he goes stiff.
Correct. Okay, so, and then like if you say break, now you have to
I don't
repeat.
think he gets that word yet, but
Which you can,
I
does he,
have to like point and say like, go ahead.
go? Does he have any like toy drive or ball drive or anything like that? Yeah. What you can do is carry like a ball with you, and when you're in the heel, come to a stop, auto sit, wait a moment, do break, and then just toss it.
Okay.
And it'll create the incentive of like, oh, I can move.
Okay.
So you're trying to create the impulsiveness. Now once you've cued the break, he's off the clock.
Mm-hmm.
So once you decide like, okay, dude, we're going again, heel. Okay, then you tap and you bring him to your side, and then at that point he's in heel. Okay. Other questions?
I don't think so.
So what we're going to do with this is use this to help address that residual reactivity that you're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you're on the if you're walking on the sidewalk and you see someone coming, at this stage what I just tell people is just assume reactivity, and then just step aside. So most of the snow is gone now. So it should be sidewalk, grass and then curb. So you would step in to the curb facing the sidewalk, tap him into an auto sit, choke up on your leash, and then see what he does. Okay. Does he give any precursors to being reactive?
And so my next question was going to be, what do I correct, or when do I start correcting? He gets like, I don't know, his ears perk up. I can't tell when he's just excited and when he's reactive. So his ears perk up, he gets like stiff. Sometimes his little, I call it tough, I don't know what that is, but will stick up like a cat.
Oh, the hackles?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just assume
He
reactivity.
fixates,
Yes. So fixation, all that stuff you said is reactivity.
Okay.
It's just lower levels of reactivity. So I want you to just always assume he's gonna blow up. Okay. Don't worry about like, well, what if he's excited about a dog? Don't worry about that. Okay. Always step aside, choke up on your leash. Your job is now to focus on Duke, but also don't get tunnel vision. Make sure you see what's going on over here as well. Okay. Because sometimes people will see like, oh, look at this cute little dachshund, and I want to say hi. So you're looking at him, and like, let's say he just does this. That's him acknowledging the dog. You would correct that. Okay. Now you might see him like kind of jump a little bit and then turn and like look this way or look at you. That's fine. Again, I don't care about obedience. I care about what's his behavior going to be. So that's what we call avoidance. So we have 4 responses to stress: fight, flight, avoidance, submission. Okay. When they're on a leash, we remove flight response. That's why a lot of dogs just go into fight or reactivity.
Right.
You want to limit fight response.
That's why he's worse was worse on the leash.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's no means of running away.
Yeah.
Okay. So that leaves.
Avoidance is what he does whenever I bring out the vacuum. He turns his back from it
Yes.
and looks out the window.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's avoidance. And whenever we deal with aggressive responses, we always want to create avoidance. Okay. So we've already removed flight because he's on a leash. We want to stop fight, right? Reactivity, which leaves avoidance and submission. Avoidance is, like you saw, turns his back to the window or whatever. Here, he's going to turn his back to the dog. He looks this way. He looks at you. He looks at the ground. He looks over there. Anywhere but the dog. So, because for him, he goes, all right, looking at the dog stresses me out. If I keep looking at him, I want to go into reactivity, but I know that's not an option. But this dog still bothers me. So I'm going to do this instead. Is this okay? Yes. There's no correction for avoidance. Okay? Now, eventually, avoidance can build into submission or acceptance, which is he's just sitting there, and the dog passes. He's like, all right, just the dog, has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
He's just accepting the situation is going to happen. But we always see avoidance first. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean he'll one day accept. It just means he's going to go into avoidance, and maybe he'll go like, all right, seeing dogs walk past me isn't a big deal. And then we get the acceptance, okay? But don't worry about that part.
Okay.
So here, now some trainers will tell you, oh, stepping aside for dogs is the worst because it makes it more stressful. Because now you're kind of forcing the situation, right?
Oh.
But life, you're gonna see dogs at random, you're gonna turn corners, you're gonna be on the elevator, right? Is by doing this, you're doing a couple of things. One, you're teaching them, like, you're gonna see dogs, okay? And you don't need to like them, but you can't lunge at them. So this allows you to practice that and know and already have like a structure, okay? The second thing is you're building habits. So like, let's say one day you turn the corner of your lobby or something, there's a dog, your first instinct is gonna be to choke up.
Yeah.
Most people's instinct is just to pull back where they're at,
Yeah.
and then there's too much slack, and then the dogs are at each other.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw this like within a couple weeks ago. I saw some guy's dog blowing up, and he was holding the end of the leash like this, and the leash was all in front of him like that. I'm like, dude, like just choke up and then bring the dog in, right?
Yeah.
So you're building a habit. Every time you step aside and you do this, you're building your habit of when I see a dog or when we see a dog, I just automatically do this.
I was gonna say, I think it's better because I'm calmer because it's fewer things for me to focus on.
Yes.
It's like stressful to be like worried about him and trying to walk and
Yes.
whatever.
Yes. It's easier because it's like, okay, your job is just be here.
Yeah.
Right? When you're walking, and walking is harder to do with reactivity because reactivity is a moving behavior.
Yeah.
And you're already walking. So he's already on 1 to 2 and he just very easily jumps into 10.
Yeah.
Okay? So from being stationary, he has to build 0, 1, 2, 3, 6, 10. So it gives you a lot of opportunities. If you're questioning, should I correct him for this? Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that's you recognizing something's off,
Okay.
but just being unsure. Okay? So if you see something you're not sure, just correct it. Okay? If it was a miscorrection, one for good luck, it's fine. It's not going to screw him up psychologically. He already lunges at dogs as it is. So, but yeah, now let's say you step aside and you're doing 15 and you see 10 dogs and 50% of the time he's reactive and the other 50% of the time he's not.
I have to go up.
Go up.
Yeah.
Okay, now you have a structure. I'm gonna go to 18. Now I'm at an 80% success rate, right? Now I'm gonna go to 21. I'm at 90%. And then you wanna keep tabs on, if you can, the time that he's being reactive. If you start to notice, oh, it's when dogs bark at him first. Good, it means he doesn't care about the other dogs now.
Yeah.
Which is, in the spectrum of reactivity, that makes sense. Because it's always reactivity towards him and that goes away first. Calm dogs, excited energies in the middle. Reactive dogs and sudden run-ins with dogs are towards the end of the spectrum.
Yeah, he seems totally fine with the calm, like well-trained dogs now.
Mhm.
The ones that don't care what he's doing.
Yes.
So that's good. That's a
Yes. So we just have, excited or puppy type energy,
Yeah.
other reactive dogs, and then like the sudden run-ins. Okay.
Like the worst ones are when the other dog starts fixating on him.
Sure.
And then he gets crazy.
Yes. And don't be surprised if in those contexts you're much higher.
Yeah.
Because you gotta, like, for him, he's like, you're looking at me, right? So
Yeah.
that he's more incentivized to want to be reactive. So there might be more of a consequence in order to deter him,
Okay.
right? Because now he's got to let it go.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, this dog's not giving me a good look. I don't like it, right? So don't be surprised if like 21 fixes a lot of stuff, but when a dog is staring or barking at him, you might need like 35.
Okay.
Okay, that's actually how that makes sense.
What do I do with an off-leash dog when they approach?
Mhm.
Just what do I do in that situation?
Is this like at a park or just on the street?
Yeah, at the park.
Okay.
I live right by like Grant Park. That
Sure.
Area.
Sure.
And there's a ton of dogs, a bunch of off-leash dogs.
Yeah.
Most of them are fine, but
Mhm.
every once in a while a dog will run up like they want to introduce themselves,
Mhm.
and I don't really know what to do because I don't want to run away from them and get like nervous,
Okay.
but I also don't.
How has he responded in those moments?
It depends. there's this one, I like know the dogs. There's this one basset hound that's very chill, and he's fine with him. So he let him sniff him, they introduced themselves, and they were fine. And I let him do it because it was clear he was very calm. But then, the running dogs get him all excited, and he starts to shake, and ears perk up, and he's watching, and he kind of wants to run.
So it's more of like a playful energy?
I don't know.
Okay. So one thing you could do, and I'll try to give you all the scenarios, is if you're walking with a muzzle now, that allows you to experiment.
Sure.
Okay? So like, if the dog is coming to you off leash,
or like in the building, sometimes there's off-leash dogs running around.
Well, that's not good.
I know, but I can't. It is what it is.
All right, well.
I not him, but.
So, what I would do is make a decision and stick with it, as opposed to being like, well, if it's this, I'll do this. If it's this, I'll do that, because it doesn't make it too complicated for you. Okay. One would be, you have the muzzle, so if the dog, if he's looking more excited type energy, you could experiment. Okay. Now, technically, and you said you're a law student, right? You're pretty sure I understand this correctly. You may want to check on it. Okay. If a dog runs up on you off leash and he is on leash and he bites, you're not liable. Okay, because he's on the leash. That dog was off leash. Okay. Now, if he's off leash and he bites a dog, then you're liable. Okay. If you're to happen to be within a fenced area, like of a house, knows your property, and someone reached in and he bit them and he was off the leash, you're liable. Okay, just so yeah. So, because people always they think like that doesn't make sense. I'm like, doesn't make sense.
Illinois, the one bite rule.
Yeah. So here, if you're like, well, he's got the muzzle on, sure, I'm gonna experiment, and just be, you want to be relaxed, because if you start choking up, like, oh my God, what's he gonna do? You could potentially create something, right? I would just have my hand ready on the remote and ready to pull up, okay? If you're trying to see what happens. Otherwise, aside from that basset hound or whatever, anytime you see a dog coming towards you, the moment you see them coming towards you, what I do is I move into the dog and I shout. So if you want to
Shout?
hey, yes, because you're trying to deter the dog from coming to you, okay? Now the problem here is if that dog is in a social state and with their owner, you'll know right away. Like you'll do this and the dog will just keep running over like, but I'm friendly. So then I just choke up here, get in the middle, and then you can use your leg to body block. Because usually sticking your leg out, dogs will kind of go like this, and it'll keep them at a distance, and you can shout to the owner, get your dog, whatever, okay? If the dog is immediately here, I've kicked dogs, okay? Because it'll be a dog fight, and people don't think about that, okay? And I've had it happen to people. Last year, I had 3 to 5 clients whose dogs were charged by off-leash dogs and were attacked, okay? So my assumption is, I don't know your dog, my dog's gonna assume threat.
Yeah.
So it's either I kick the dog and the dog stays back, or there's a potential dog fight.
Yeah.
Okay? So, and I've had people that are like, oh, sorry, like blah, 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 right? And they get other people that they think they're in the right, and they're like, what you do kicking my dog? I'm like, fucking, your dog's off leash. You want your dog to get in a fight with my dog? Like, really?
Yeah.
So, those are the options, okay? Inside the hallway, that really sucks. Like I would, either say something or, again, in his eyes, okay?
Yeah.
If they come in, he's like, you're not gonna do anything? I will, right? That's how he views it. So
I have stuff between him and others. They're usually little dogs. I don't know why, but people don't let their big dogs off leash for the most part. It's the little guys.
Yeah, because people think that they're not gonna do any harm.
Right, but so I have stuffed in between. I have done this with the foot, and then I just tell them my dog's not friendly. And then they'll be like, oh, sorry, my dog's super friendly. I'm like, okay, well.
Fucking dog on a leash.
Yeah.
Yes.
But so I have done that. So good to know that's okay.
Yes. If you have to get physical, in my opinion, it's okay.
Okay.
Right? Because dogs bite each other.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why I was like, you want to make your decision. Because then if you're like, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, it's too quick to read in the situation.
Yeah.
It's best to just have a decision and be like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to allow them to come towards us, right? And when you move in to a dog, what happens is they're not expecting confrontation, so they tend to stay back, okay? You call the owner or whatever. If the owner is not there, instead of turning like this, you actually walk backwards. Okay? And when the dog tries to follow you, you shout and move in again. You should see this dog back off. You move backwards. They try to follow, repeat. And typically by the third time, you'll just see them kind of push off, and then you'll kind of back up. And then once you feel like you're clear, then you can turn. Okay? But the moment you give your back, they're going to go. Okay? So you keep that confrontation on. Don't worry about what he's doing.
Will he be calmer if he sees that I'm going to deal with it?
Technically, yes, unless it's too escalated. Okay? And I've been charged by off-leash dogs several times over the course of 10 years.
My little dog got bit by recently. She was holding it and the dog jumped into
Yes.
him.
That was gonna be my next thing.
Yeah.
Is your instinct, because he's smaller, is to pick him up?
No,
Not
it's not.
only is it a target, it makes you a target. Somebody recently just themselves got bit because the dog jumped up to try to bite their dog and bit them instead.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I'm like, physicality is okay. You're just kicking the dog, and I mean, kick the dog. Don't like try to like, please don't, right? Like, look, you need to firmly get the fuck away from me, okay? Because of what can happen. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff, learned a lot of crazy stories. I've had dogs the client's dogs were friendly and then got attacked by an off-leash dog and then was dog aggressive the next day.
Yeah.
Yep. So people don't understand that. So that's why I have no problem with it. Plus he's a little guy.
Yeah.
If most dogs, bigger than him have a physically better chance. Although he could fight off a bigger dog if they're chicken shit. But
He is a total baby. Once he attacked, this is just a funny aside, once he attacked a family of raccoons in the backyard in the evening. They were climbing up the fence and he jumped and grabbed the baby raccoon, and the mama raccoon, of course, went crazy and bit him, and I had to take him to the emergency vet, and he had rabies shots, so he was fine.
Sure.
And the vet said, yeah, I noticed he has a bite mark on his back area, which means that he was trying to flee. So he started a fight and then tried to run.
yeah.
Anyway.
I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
He's a funny little dog. But yeah, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
There are so many off-leash dogs, and I just can't control other people, so
I have a video.
I'm gonna have to.
I made I think 1 or 2 videos because when we used to train at Oz, we got approached by off-leash dogs at least 10 times.
Yeah.
So in the video you see us, kind of get in the middle and stuff, so you kind of get a visual of it.
Okay.
But people's instinct is typically to tuck away or run. Mine is always to confront because most of the time they're not expecting it. So it's actually the same thing with humans. So I watch a self-defense channel on YouTube, and he says if someone's trying to rob you, they're looking for an easy target. They don't want trouble. He's like, so if you go into defense mode immediately, a lot of times they're like, fuck this is too much, and they just go. So it's the same thing for dogs. They're not wanting it to be an issue. They're wanting an easy target. So as soon as you start confronting them and making it an issue, they tend to deflect. The exception being when they're with their owner, because the owner gives them something to protect or something that empowers them. But even if it's a stray dog, it could be a stray, 100-pound German Shepherd, and you're like, hey, you just move into them, they'll just back off, unless they were trained to do that. 99% of the time, they're going to back off. Okay? Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right. So good job. So now you have some homework to work on, and then we'll see how the reactivity does.